podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.
PNR.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
Spanning the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, this is Subject Cinema's Avengers Endgame MCU Countdown.
Okay, don't tell us. We don't want to know. We know some of you have seen Endgame already.
Yeah.
We don't want to know.
We don't want to know.
We'll find out tonight when we get to see it ourselves.
Yeah.
This is the Subject Cinema Avengers Endgame MCU Countdown, the final day. It is April 26, 2019. Avengers Endgame officially came out at 7 p.m. last night, and it hits theaters everywhere tonight. So we have tickets for the Carasotis Showplace Icon in the Seaport.
Yep.
We've never been there before. It is a very luxury theater. They actually have heated seats.
Ooh.
And it'll be interesting to see. The theaters are very small and intimate, and it's said to be very, very something else. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But we are here to do the final film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe before Avengers Endgame. The introduction of the person Marvel President Kevin Feige says is going to be destined to be the leader of the Avengers, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in the future. Dun, dun, dun.
Well,
Carol Danvers herself, Captain Marvel, played by Brie Larson.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so we haven't reviewed this before. We're going to do a full review of it here in a minute. We saw it back when it came out, and
yes.
It was...
Came out a little over a month ago. March 8th was when we went to see it.
Wow, it's only been a month. It seems like it was longer than that.
Yeah.
The character has changed a number of times.
Oh yeah.
And there were a number of different
Sorry about the yawn.
Other characters that have been in and out of that universe.
Should we kind of do a little backstory?
I think we don't need to mess with that because they didn't really get into it in the movie.
Okay.
They did in a weird way, but that will actually come out if you haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway,
and if you haven't seen it, why the hell not?
Yeah, you should be seeing it. It's still doing. It is already over. I think it's up to 900 million, something like that.
Something like that. Some crazy amount of money.
And it's doing really well. And it was the best reviewed film of the group in a long time. With Brie Larson as Carol Danvers, Samuel L. Jackson with some amazing backwards aging done as Nick Fury, Ben Mendelsohn as Talos, Djimon Hounsou as Korath, Lee Pace as Ronan the Accuser, Lashana Lynch as Maria Rambeau, Gemma Chan as Minerva, Annette Bening as the Supreme Intelligence, who has a little secret of her own, Clark Gregg as Phil Coulson, the younger version, Jude Law as Jan Rogg, plus a few other people with smaller characters, and, of course, Goose. The cat.
Goose the cat.
Goose the cat, who is the best character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe until they introduce Hal Cow. So there we go. You knew I was going to get that in.
Okay.
There are also appearances from other people in the universe.
Hold up. This is now an editorial comment. Whoever is going to make the next Deadpool movie, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Marvel or Sony. At this point, I don't care if it's Tommy Wiseau. All right, maybe I do. All right, I care about that. I
don't do a Deadpool.
Never mind.
Teampool is not me.
Strike that last one. But anyway, whoever does the next Deadpool movie, go read the Deadpool team-up comic that had Hell Cow in it. Somehow, please find a way to put Hell Cow in the movie, just, if nothing else, to shut him up and save what is left of my sanity. Thank you.
I think we're getting a bit overwrought, don't you? By the way,
You're freaking obsessed with an undead bovine!
Moo?
So Skrulls are the bad guys. And you're a Kree, a race of noble warriors.
Heroes. Noble warrior heroes.
Your life began the day it nearly ended. We found you with no memory.
There were 4 different cats that played Goose: Reggie,
Yes.
Archie, Rizzo, and Gonzo.
Yes.
Each picked for their personality and actions.
And cuteness.
Yeah.
Because Goose is wicked adorable.
Yeah. So give us the rundown on the plot of this movie.
Okay. The plot of Captain Marvel begins in, it begins in 1995, actually, but on a different planet. It begins on the planet of Hala, which is, I think, how it's pronounced. Hala? I don't think it's Hala. Which is the capital of the Kree Empire. Now, everybody who knows anything about history knows that usually stuff that has empire in it, that usually never ends well. And a member of the Kree army, which is called Star Force, a member named Vers is a young woman who is dealing with amnesia and nightmares and keeps having these images in her mind of an older woman and violence and some kind of a battle situation. Her commander and also the person who has taken her under his wing, a Kree named Jan Rog, is trying to teach her how to use her very powerful abilities involving energy blasts and things like that, and use them in a way that so she controls her powers, not her powers controlling her. And she also is being looked at, or looked over, I don't know how you'd word it, by the Supreme Intelligence, which is an AI that is the ruler of the Kree. Some Kree actually almost view the Supreme Intelligence as almost like a religious figure. It didn't start out that way. Also, the Supreme Intelligence looks like when you go to speak with it, because it is an it, it looks like whatever you want, whatever in your mind will keep you like at ease is what it looks like. So it looks like different things for different people. It's kind of like The Wizard of Oz, if you read the book. Mm-hmm. So they're on the other people that are in this team of Star Force members, including Jan Rog and some of the other members of the team, including Vers, are going on a mission to rescue an operative who has been captured by the Kree's enemies, the Skrulls. Now, the Kree and Skrull war has been going on for a long, tack about 5 more longs on their time. They hate each other. They are desperate, they really hate each other. Although, as we find out in the film, it's a little bit more one-sided and when it comes to who really hates who and why. Mm-hmm. The Skrulls are a race of people that are able to shapeshift. They just have to look at someone and they can copy them. I don't know if they can, absorb someone's memories or stuff like that. I don't think so. But everything goes really wrong, and she winds up being captured by one of these Skrulls, and the leader of the Skrull group, a being called Talos. She has to go through a memory probe when she's on the Skrull ship, and things that are in Ver's mind don't really seem to gel with your average Kree. There are things in her mind. Now, also, just real quick, when it comes to the Kree physically, they look different from each other. The more I think what they refer to in the comics as highborn Kree have blue skin. The lower born Kree have pink skin. Mm-hmm. Just So you
Caucasian.
know. Yeah, well, slightly pinker skin.
Okay.
And also their eyes are a little different.
Okay.
She manages to get away from the Skrull, and now her head's all messed up. And she crashes on Earth, specifically in Los Angeles in 1995. So, of course, she crashes into a Blockbuster. Now, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Blockbuster Video was a store that you used to go to rent videotapes.
And later DVDs.
And if you don't know what a videotape is, ask your mom and dad. And shut up. Naturally, all of this UFO-ness it winds up on the radar of S.H.I.E.L.D., and agents are sent out to find out what the hell is going on, including an agent named Nick Fury and Phil Coulson. Now, this is obviously long before Nick Fury was the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., even before he's definitely not the badass in the duster with the eye patch and looking all cool and all that stuff like that. I mean, he seems like a really decent bloke, but you're just kind of like, wait, what? That's the same, huh? It does kind of make you go, how do we get from that to, I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative, and being all like, I'm Samuel L. Jackson and I'm a badass, and from there we get a twisty-turny story where we find out that things are not always as they seem, and that there's an old saying that history is written by the winners. And that is true. The thing is, this war between the Kree and the Skrull isn't close to being won yet, although something happened on Earth that could have pushed the balance. And also the memories that Vers has right now are not her own. She has been...
well, some of them are her own.
Some of them are her own, but her own sense of self, she feels like a stranger among her own, quote, quote, Dr. Evil quotes, people, the Kree, and then she finds out that, that's not exactly accurate. And the battle goes from there, involving old friends, new enemies, and finding out that you actually can go home again, but it's going to be a hell of a lot different than you remembered.
Yep.
Do you want to go over the cast list again?
Well, I just ran it down before, but I did leave out Akira Akbar, who played Maria's daughter, Monica Rambeau, who is... I
think it's pronounced Rambeau.
Rambeau.
I think. I don't think it's not like Sylvester Stallone. I think it's Rambeau.
Okay. I just wanted to bring that up. Wow, this was fun.
So much fun.
And we got the two best things about it were the opening with the Marvel credits, all featured Stan Lee's credits and cameos over the years.
Yeah.
He just passed away a couple months earlier. And his cameo here in this movie where he's learning his lines for his cameo in Mallrats, which came out in 1995. So it's like very funny. This movie kicks ass from beginning to end.
So good.
I'm so impressed. And I wasn't really sure Brie Larson would be able to pull this off. She's kind of young. I always thought Carol Danvers was in her 30s, pushing 40. Brie is like 26, 27. She's not very old. And I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. But it really works. And it works well because she has great chemistry with everybody she's on screen with.
It totally works. See, I always pictured her as a younger woman simply because the things that she does in the film that wind up having her wind up on Hala thinking she's a Kree, the reason that happens is because of some actions that she takes, and I'm like, yeah, you'd have to be young to do that.
Well, yeah.
An older person would go, I'm not...
at that time, but we don't know how long she's been.
Well, we found out. Huh? She was missing since, we don't want to go into
missing for 5 years, 6 years,
longer,
something like that.
Yeah, less than 10, but yeah, she was missing for a while.
7 years, because the daughter was 11 and she was 5 when she was missing. So, yeah.
And what caused that is one of those things where you're like, yeah, a younger person would have done that, because when you're young, you think you're going to live forever and you're invulnerable, and then reality comes along and whacks you upside the head and goes, no, you're not. And
the character of the Supreme Intelligence, played by Annette Bening, each person sees the Supreme Intelligence as somebody different.
Right.
The person that they see. The reason why Vers is seeing this woman, and she doesn't realize it until later, is because this woman was her commander in the Air Force.
Yes, who has her own secrets to hide.
She does, and I think that was very interesting. The cast here is just terrific.
Oh, bang on cast, absolutely
if you're
fantastic.
a Ben Mendelsohn fan, you won't get to see him much. He's mostly under a bunch of makeup as one of the Skrulls, but he is always terrific. And Samuel L. Jackson thinks that they had to de-age him 25 years here, and he thinks was it The Negotiator? Was that the movie?
I think that's what he said. Yeah.
From? Oh my God, you really can't tell.
No. Absolutely not.
It looks completely natural, and it looks natural on Clark Gregg too.
It does.
Who had just started his career with S.H.I.E.L.D. at that time.
Yeah.
We didn't know. Of course, he would later have a lot to do with Kree technology. If you're a fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the whole first season dipped around that.
Yeah. Well, actually, so did the Avengers, because I'm pretty sure that weapon that he shot Loki with, that was Kree tech. I'm pretty sure.
Might have been. It was it was nice to see him again.
Excuse me. Yes, it was.
In that context, inside the universe. But again, Brie Larson just kicks butt.
She's
from
amazing.
Here to eternity with this role. And it's going to be really interesting to see how she... So far, we haven't seen only a couple of clips with her from the Avengers.
Yep.
The one from the end of the film where she suddenly shows up from the beeper, and then the scene we see in the commercial where Thor is standing in front of her and calling, depending on which version they're using, either Stormbreaker or Mjolnir end up in his hand. They both do. And she has this glimmer of a grin on her. No, she gets a glimmer of a grin on her face, and he's like, "I like this one." She is not even fazed by it.
Not fazed.
So those two are going to have fun together.
I have to say something about this film that I was like, I came out of this film going, "Wow." About now, I have to be honest.
Wow.
I've read a lot of comics throughout my life and watched a lot of based cartoons and things like that, and blah blah. But I'm not as up on some things as I should be on others. Bad me. I was always under the impression, or at least the way they always portrayed them, that the Skrull were the bad guys.
Yeah.
And
the Kree are bad guys too. I mean, it depends on how you view things.
That's the thing. I was like, well, wait a minute. The Kree kind of...
Don't give away too much now.
Well, I'm not going to. But I'm like, I came out of this going, no, I like Skrulls. Skrulls are cool.
We also find out one other really important aspect of the Avengers cinematic universe here.
Yeah.
How Nick Fury lost his eye.
Yep. Yeah. Also, there is that we mentioned Goose. Goose is a cat.
Yeah.
And he is adorable.
Yeah, he is.
Except
he's not really a cat. He's a what?
Well, we don't want to say it.
Oh, okay.
We want to leave. We
find
out.
They won't see it till too later. But I mean, people they're naming it that all the way through the movie.
We find out after this whole thing starts when the Skrulls see Goose, they flip out and they keep referring to him as a Flurkin.
A Flurkin, that's right. Yeah.
And we find out later in the film what exactly a Flurkin is.
Yeah. It's quite interesting.
When that scene happens, please don't be eating or drinking.
Well, you can't you can't tell them when it's going to happen.
Well, no.
It's just going to happen because we both jumped out of our seats. It's
like,
holy cow.
I was like, what? I was like looking at you like, please tell me you saw that too, otherwise my meds kicked in way too early.
And of course the tail end, the very last scene at the end of the end of the credits also involves Goose and something else that played a huge part and why we ended up right back at the beginning.
And now it's the one question that people have been asking since Captain America, I think, or maybe since Thor, I forget. But anyway, it's one question that's been from one of the early films. I also have to say I never would have pegged Nick Fury for a cat person.
No, I wouldn't have either.
That's hilarious. And also, just real quick, I want to bring up about Goose. They actually did change the name.
Yes, he was originally called Chewie in the comic book.
Yes, he's still Chewie in the
comic.
comic.
Chewbacca.
Yes.
And they named him Goose here because they named him after Goose, the character played by Anthony Edwards in Top Gun, because Carol was a flyer.
Yeah.
And thought that would be more appropriate.
Because they couldn't call him Iceman, because that would have just been completely, wrong.
Not to mention the fact that they hadn't completed the Marvel Fox merger yet.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The Disney Fox
That would have been awkward.
So, we have been here for the past 21 days.
Oh, are we rating this?
Oh, yes, we are. Yes.
I give Captain Marvel a very solid A+.
I give it an A. I had a couple of little problems with it, but nothing that's going to really knock it for a loop, and it is definitely worth the time, and we should go see it again.
Yeah, we ought to.
Because we haven't been. So we've been here for the past 21 days.
Yes.
And tonight at 7 o'clock, we will be at the theater seeing this movie. We will get home sometime around 11 o'clock. We will go on the air and have a new podcast up probably sometime shortly before midnight tonight with our take on Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
It is the conclusion of our 22-episode miniseries devoted to what is likely to become the biggest grossing single film in a weekend's time.
Yeah.
Some people are projecting it, including me, at over $300 million. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. There's so many questions that need to get answered.
And all of them do, according to what people have said so far.
There's one question that I need to know before we go into the movie, for my own nerves.
Okay.
Do they make vodka smoothies? Because I think that's what I'm going to need to keep
Well, you don't like vodka, number one. And number two, you can't drink anymore because of your cholesterol medicine. We know what happens when that happens. I had to clean up a lot when last time you had a drink.
Oh, yeah.
So, no booze. Sorry.
Damn.
Gonna have to be all natural. I can't drink either. I'm taking the same medicine, so it's like, okay. We'll also share our thoughts on our first visit to the Boston's newest luxury theater, the Sarasota Showplace Icon Seaport. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Everybody, I've been reading reviews about how freaking awesome the place is, and it is more expensive. It was worth it for this, and I think we always said we were going to go there for a blockbuster, and we just let's go for it.
I don't think it's going to get much more blockbustery than this until Godzilla vs. Kong comes out.
No. I think Godzilla King of the Monsters will be big too.
Well, it will be, but Godzilla vs. Kong is going to be bigger, I think.
Well, we'll see, but I think there's going to be 4 or 5 more this year.
Right, yeah.
Before we get there, there's going to be Detective Pikachu, there's going to be Godzilla King of the Monsters, there's going to be 2 more down the road in the summertime. So there's going to be these huge big films, but I'm not paying as much as we paid this weekend to go see Pikachu in that
seriously,
although I can't wait to see that movie. So
I don't want to go to some fancy schmancy theater and be like, hi, 2 tickets for Detective Pikachu, because I will feel like a dope.
Why? Because it's going to be a huge hit, honey.
Well,
the projections are almost 60 million.
It's going to be really interesting. Now, is Sarasota an over 21 theater all the time?
It's over 21, over 18, and over 21.
So are they even going to show it?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
Honey, Pokemon has huge fans.
I know.
Most of the people out there playing Pokemon Go were in their 40s, they said. Go figure. Anyway, enough about Pokemon. We'll get into that next month. But for right now, until tonight, and our emotional review of Avengers Endgame for the Subject Cinema's Avengers Endgame MCU Countdown, I'm TC Kirkham.
I'm Kim Brown.
We'll see you after the fact.
Pray for us.
Oh, please.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
Podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.
PNR.